everybody! Today, let's hook this flamingo together. The long legs and this pointy mouth. Two small wings are standard on this flamingo. The crocheting method is very simple. A little doll very suitable for beginners to hook. What's next? Let's hook it together. First, let's hook the head. Wrap the yarn around your fingers. Pinch the intersection with your right hand. Lay the yarn with your left hand. Pinch the intersection with your left hand. Then the crochet goes in. Wrap the yarn around and pull it over. Then we hook the yarn again. Pull this little loop. This is a chain stitch. What we do next is we thread the crochet through the loop. Hook single crochet, press the yarn, and pull it over. Then these two loops are parallel and stitched together. This is a single crochet. We mark the first single crochet. The single crochet is a V-shaped shape like this. Next, continue to hook single crochets. Threading crochet presses the yarn and pulls it over. Then parallel the stitches. Third stitch. As for the first round, we hooked a total of 6 single crochets. We used the letter symbol X to represent single crochets. In the first round, we hooked 6X. Everyone, take a look and hook these 6 single crochets. Then, after hooking, and we're going to pull this little yarn tail really tight. This will form a disc. Then we were done with the first round. We used a stitching method of a spiral hook, so there is no need to hook slip stitches. Then let's move on to the second round. In the second round, we just hooked 6 increases. What about increase? We use the letter symbol V to represent it. So first of all, we're going to hook in the first stitch. Thread the crochet horizontally through these 2 threads. The end of the yarn is hooked horizontally on it. Hook the first single crochet first. Mark it well. And then still in the first stitch. Then hook a single crochet. This is an increase. It is equal to 2 single crochets in each stitch. And then we threaded the crochet through the second stitch. Hook another one increase. That's 2 single crochets on the hook. According to this method, hook all 4 increases in the back. What about after the second round is hooked? It will have 12 single crochets. Increase. We use the letter symbol V to indicate. Okay, the second round is done. So we go in for the third round. 1 single crochet and 1 increase is a group. Repeat the hook 6 times. In the first stitch, hook a separate single crochet and mark it. And then in the second stitch, hook an increase. That's 2 stitches on the hook. 1 single crochet and 1 increase. It's a combination. You need to hook 6 times. So here we go a second time. Hook a stitch in the third stitch. 2 stitches are hooked inside the fourth stitch. Then the second time is done. What's next? Let's hook all the remaining 4 times. So if you hook right, our number of stitches is 18. What about after we hook the third round? There are 18 single crochets. Let's take a look. Now we hook the fourth round. 1 single crochet and 1 increase and 1 single crochet. Repeat the hook 6 times. Let's hook. In the first stitch, hook a single crochet and mark it. In the second stitch, hook an increase. Then in the third stitch, hook a single crochet. It's a combination. So what's next? We continue to repeat the process. A single crochet, 1 increase, then another single crochet. It was hooked the second time. Now we're going to hook off all 4 of them. After we hook the 4th round, it will have 24 single crochets. Everyone follow me to hook. And we learn to look at this crochet diagram. We can see the diagram later. Crochet a small part alone. The single crochet is represented by the letter symbol X. The increase is represented by the letter symbol V. What about the number 6 after that? It means a few repetitions. Okay, let's take a look. We're done with the 4th round. Next we hook the 5th round. 3 single crochets and 1 increase. Repeat the hook 6 times. Hook a single crochet in the 1st stitch. Mark it well. 1 single crochet inside the 2nd stitch. 1 single crochet inside the 3rd stitch. This is 3x. Then 2 stitches are hooked into the 4th stitch. Hook a V. It's a combination. This round needs to be repeated 6 times. So after we hook the 5th round, it has 30 single crochets. Then the next round 6 to 10. 1 single crochet in each stitch. Just hook 30 single crochets. Then follow me next. Hook this 5th round first. After the hook is done, we'll hook from round 6 to 10. After the hook is done, let's look at the decreased part of round 11 later. Okay, we followed the diagram all the way to round 10. Next we hook round 11. 3 single crochets and 1 decrease is a group. Repeat the hook 6 times. We mainly look at how to hook the decrease. Hook these 3 single crochets first. Mark the 1st stitch. Okay, after hooking these 3 single crochets, next we hook a decrease. Decreased, we just reduced 2 stitches to 1. We threw the front loop of the 4th single crochet, this single loop, through the front loop of the 5th stitch. Then crochet. The hook yarn goes through these 2 loops first, and then we parallel them. This is a decrease for a single crochet. 3 single crochets and 1 decrease. It's a combination. This round needs to hook 6 times. First hook 3 single crochets, then through the front loop of the stitches. Through another front loop. Crochet the yarn and pull it over. Then parallel the stitches. Now we're going to hook up all 4 of them. Then we pass the hook on round 11. We learned how to hook decrease. So what about after we hook round 11? And then look at the diagrams. Hook both rounds 12 and 13. So just hook the diagram. We've been to round 13. After the hook is done, we put PP cotton in it and fill it up. After round 13, our head is done. The next rounds 14 to 21. It's the neck of our flamingo. So rounds 14 through 21. No stitch addition, no stitch reduction. Just hook 12 single crochets. Everyone follow me to hook. Hook 12 single crochets until round 21. We followed the diagram all the way to round 21. This is the neck of the flamingo. So what's next? From round 22. This part of the body. Let's hook this. On round 22, just look at the diagram and hook it. Hook 3 single crochets first. Next, 6 increases. Then the second increase. The third one. 4th stitch. 5th stitch. Then the 6th stitch. 6 increases are done. And then we hooked 3 more single crochets. Okay, we've hooked it on round 22. Put PP cotton in it. Just fill it up. Then follow me. Hook all the following rounds 23 to 31. We followed the diagram until round 31, so then we did the last round, round 32. On the 32nd round, hook 6 decreases in a row. So what about after the hook on round 31? We put PP cotton in it and fill it up. Let's hook round 32. Hook the first decrease first. The method is the same as before. Mark it well. Then the second decrease. Then the third decrease. Fourth decrease. Fifth decrease. Sixth decrease. Okay, after the hook is done, lengthen the yarn. There is a longer yarn tail. And what happens next? We use needles. So this hole at the top. Finally, there are 6 stitches left. So what we do is we go through the front loop of each stitch. Then pull it tight. Okay, there is no hole. Then you run the thread out of the other place. Then just cut the end of the thread directly. Take a look at our heads. The neck and the body are done. Okay, let's hook the beak part of this flamingo. First we hooked with a black yarn. So the first 4 rounds of the hook methods are very simple. The first round is to hook 6 single crochets in magic ring. I quickly hooked it. As for the first round, we will hook 6 single crochets in a row. The first stitch is still marked. After hooking, let's tighten this yarn tail. Then this place needs special attention. When we hook, we use the slip stitch. After each round is hooked, you need to hook a slip stitch in the first stitch. Hook the yarn and pull it over. Then take it directly to the back loop. Then the first round is officially completed. Next, we hook the second round. Hook a chain stitch first. The second round, 1 single crochet and 1 increase is a group. Repeat hook 3 times. It's exactly the same way. Then after each round is hooked, you need to hook a slip stitch to connect. And then, at the beginning of each round, you need to hook a chain stitch first. Because of the mouth, it is hooked with 2 colored yarns. Let's hook this second round first. Then after the hook is done, in the same way, let's do a slip stitch. Everybody follow me to hook. The second round is done. So we're going to look at the diagrams. Hooked all the third and fourth rounds. We've been following the diagram. Hooked to round 4. Next, hook the fifth round. First, hook a chain stitch. In the fifth round, we will first hook 3 single crochets. Mark the first stitch well. 2, 3. So what's next? We need to hook 6 half double crochets. The half double crochet is represented by the letter T. Crochet winding yarn. Then thread the crochet into the fourth stitch. Pull the yarn over. There are 3 loops on the crochet. We pull yarns. Put these 3 loops together. This is a half double crochet. Then go ahead. Thread the crochet around the yarn in the 5th stitch. Pull the yarn. Then parallel the stitches. Next, the 3rd half double crochet. 4th half double crochet. 5th half double crochet. 6th half double crochet. Okay, after the hook is done, finally hook 3 single crochets. Then after hooking, same method. Hook a slip stitch. Connect it. Okay, we're done with the 5th round. Then hook the 6th round. 3 single crochets. Next 6 half double crochets. We still mark the first stitch. The hook method for the 5th and 6th rounds is exactly the same. Next, hook 3 single crochets. 1. What about when you hook the 3rd single crochet? We need to change the color in advance at this place. Change it to this white yarn. Thread the crochet in. Pull the yarn out. Don't mix the stitches yet. We change the color in advance. Hook them together with white yarn. Let's take a look. The crochet directly catches the thread. Through 2 loops. Hold the end of the yarn. And then use the white yarn for the slip stitching of the 6th round. The method is the same. The end of the yarn is hooked horizontally on it. Okay, how about that? We changed the color successfully. Then hook the 7th round with the white yarn. First hook a chain stitch. Then we need hook 5 single crochets and 1 decrease and 5 single crochets. Let's hook. First hook 5 single crochets. Second stitch. Put this tail of the white yarn and the black yarn all hooked up horizontally. So after a few stitches, this black yarn can be cut. We won't use it later. Next, and decrease. The method is the same as before. Pick up a stitch of the front loop. Pick up another front loop and pull the thread over. What's next? 5 single crochets. Connect it after hooking it. Next, take the 8th round. Use this white yarn to hook. First hook a chain stitch. Next, we hooked for single crochets and 1 decreased. Then hook 5 single crochets. Then hook and decrease next. Then hook 5 single crochets. All right, in that case, our 8th round is complete. Extend the yarn. Cut directly. Then we put PP cotton in it first. Fill it up. This is part of the mouth of our flamingo. And we're going to do that with sutures. This India-Pakistan connection on the last round. So that's the first stitch. Skip it and thread the needle from the second stitch position. And we found the last of the single crochet. We picked its back loop of the stitches, along with this little loop below. Go through it together like this. Okay, then it's connected. This mouth of our flamingo is complete. Okay, what's next? Let's hook the wings of this flamingo. It is also a way to hook in magic rings. 6 single crochets in the first round. Mark the first stitch. Okay, after hooking, tighten this thread tail. The first round is done. We continue to hook the second round. 6 increases in the second round. The first stitch is still marked. Okay, here we are. The second round is complete. Okay, then the third round. So first we thread the stitch through the first stitch. First hook a slip stitch to transition over. Okay, next we hook 3 chain stitches. Okay, what about after the hook is done? Also in the first stitch, hook a single crochet. We are threading a stitch through the first stitch. Hook a single crochet. Okay, and then we threaded the stitch through the second stitch. Hook a single crochet, then 3 chain stitches. And then threaded a stitch into the second stitch. Hook a single crochet. We put a stitch through the third stitch. Hook a single crochet, then 3 chain stitches, threading a stitch into the third stitch. Hook a single crochet. Just repeat the hook like this. Hook 2 more. 3 chain stitches and a single crochet. Then hook another one. A single crochet. 3 chain stitches. A single crochet. Okay, let's take a look. Pull the yarn over. Leave a long tail. It can be used for suturing later. Take a look at our wings and you're done. Cut this thread tail directly. Follow the same method. 2 of these wings need to be hooked. All right, after hooking all these wings, and then we hooked off the legs. After the legs are hooked, it looks like this. The method of hooking edges is very simple. Hook single crochet in magic ring. Then the remaining rounds are crocheted according to the diagram. Okay, we've hooked every part. The first hook is the mouth part of the wing, and the legs. Next, we suture. Okay, after we sew every part, let's yarn it with a black yarn, the eye part of this flamingo. First, we thread the stitches through the mouth. Fix it like this first. And what happens is we thread a stitch through his left side. Probably when we sewed. This position on the upper row of the mouth. Thread the stitches like this. What happens? Pull it down, just crossing a line of positions. Repeat this a few times. That's it. And then again, we threaded the stitches through this place. Transition to the right side of the mouth. So what about these two positions? Keep them symmetrical. This place is a bit off. One more stitch. Thread the needle through this place and pull down. Just repeat it back and forth a few times. Okay, let's take a look. Our flamingo eyes are done. It's very simple, threading the needle from elsewhere. And then what? Cut the string. Our lovely flamingo is done. Let's take a look. Very cute shape is done. Thank you for your watching. See you in the next video.